Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to my students all over the world. It is very much cold here in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. Now, to remind you that we are doing this book. Okay. Now today we might well be doing two exercises in a row because both the exercises are very short and very easy. So it is all about division. The first exercise number 5.4 is about division, and it is very easy to uh, understand and conceive what is written in exercise number 5.4. So we'll start from an example which is very simple again, and to tell you the theory of the division of the fraction, one example is enough. So example is, today we are doing, what we are doing is dividing the fractions. Dividing the fractions. Now, as we are doing, we are doing fractions and its standard forms. So we have already learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, and now the division of the fractions. Now, for example, we have a fraction which is written like this, and then there is a fraction which is written like this. So both of the fractions are being divided by each other. So the easiest way to divide is, that the first is the dividend and the second one is the divisor. Now, will it be possible for you to divide a fraction with a fraction? So certainly not. Though I can do this fraction, I can do it. It is easy. It is not so much difficult. But as far as you are concerned, this way is not possible for you. So what we do it in a simpler way. So how we do it? We'll do it like this, that you just let remain the first fraction as it is, then change the sign of the division into the multiplication, and just flip over the fraction, the second fraction. Just flip over the second fraction. So what will happen now? You see that this is being divided. This 4 can be divided by 2. So 2 1 times and 2 2 times. Now the answer will become 3 upon 2, or it will become 1 whole 1 upon 2. So it is very much easy now to solve this fraction. Now straight coming to exercise number 5.4. We'll be solving exercise 5.4 today, and maybe exercise 5.5, which is little different from this exercise. So we'll be doing exercise question number 2 at first. Question number 2. Question number 2 is 2 upon 5 divided by 2 upon 5 divided by 3 upon 7. Now you see that I do questions in landscape form, not in the portrait form, because the capacity of board is in this direction. So I use the maximum space by doing in this way. So you do it in this way. Okay, now what was our theory behind that? You change the sign of division into the sign of multiplication. So first fraction will remain as it is, change the sign of division into multiplication, then flip over the other fraction. Flip over the other fraction. Now if these are being crossed with each other, like these, when these are being crossed or divided by each other, do it, or let it remain as it is, because all the four numbers are, you see, are the prime numbers. So prime numbers are not divided by anyone. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number. So all the four numbers are the prime number. So what you do, you just straight multiply them. Straight multiply them. 14 upon 15 will be the answer. 14 upon 15 will be the answer. Now question number, let me do fourth question. Question number 4 is 10 upon 11. 10 upon 11 divided by 5. Now you see that this is a single 5 written over here, or you can say that this is a whole number which is written over here. When you come up with a whole number and you need to have a fraction, then what do? You just place 1 under it. You just place 1 under it, because it is understood that with every fraction there is 1 under it. So don't forget to write uh, 1. So what will happen over here? Again 10 upon 11 and multiply the same. Change sign will be changed, and we are going to invert this fraction or reciprocate it. Now you see that this 5 is yes, this 10 is divisible by this 5. So 5 1 times and 5 2 times. Now it will become 2 upon 11. 2 upon 11, if I am not wrong. Question number 6. Question number 6 is 3 1 by 5. 3 1 upon 5, which is divided by 5 2 upon 3. 5 2 upon 3. Now this is a mixed fraction. So first what you have to do is to change this mixed fraction into improper fraction. So what will we do? That 3 5 times 15, 15 and 1 16. So it will become 16 upon 5. 3 5 3 times 15, 15 1, 15 plus 1 16, 16 upon 5. Similarly 3 5 times 15 and 17 upon 3. It is 17 upon 3. 3 5 times 15 and 15 plus 2 17, 17 upon 3. So we'll proceed. Now this is these are our two fractions. Now let remain the first fraction as it is and change the sign of division into multiplication. And when you change the sign of division into multiplication, you have to invert the fractions. So it will become like this. So it is 48 divided by 5, 35 and 85. It will become 85. Now this is your answer, final answer, 48 upon 85. So see how easy are the questions. Now let me proceed to another question. So the last question of this exercise. Now the rest of the questions are just like one, and the rest of the questions are like, and need not to be worry about that. If you find any difficulty, you can ask me in the comment section below. So let me proceed to question number 9 part A. Question number 9 part A, which is enclosed in bracket 2 1 upon 3 minus 1 to 5 bracket closed divided by 113. 113. Now this is the question over here. Now it is very simple and easy question. What will we do at the first? We'll change these mixed fraction into proper fraction within the bracket. Now you know that bracket comes at the first in BODMAS. The bracket is at first. You have to solve the bracket first, and whatsoever contents are within the brackets, you have to solve them first. So 3 2 times 6, 6 7 upon 3 minus 5 1 times 5 and 6 and 7 again upon 5. Close the bracket. Again check it. 3 2 times 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 upon 3, 5 1 times 5 and 6 and 7, 7 upon 5 divided by 3 1 times 3 and plus 1 4 upon 3. All the fractions which are mixed are converted into the improper fractions. Now it is very easy. Just find the LCM, because you see that these are the prime number and prime numbers are not further divided, so you can multiply them direct. You need not to write these things. This is to let you understand. So what will happen over here? It will become 15. 3 5 times 15, 3 5 times 15, and 5 7 times 35, and 5 7 times 35. Similarly, put the sign whatsoever is available to you. Here we are with minus sign. 5 3 times 15 and 3 7 times 21. Close the bracket and okay. Now okay, the final step. Now my dear students, you see that 35 minus 25, 35 minus 21 divided by 15. Now we have to subtract this 21 from 35. 35 minus 21 will become 40. Okay. Now this is 14. You can remove the brackets now. You can remove the brackets now. And simultaneously can change the sign of divisibility into the sign of multiplication, and when you change the sign of divisibility into the sign of multiplication, the upcoming fraction will be inverted. It will become 3 upon 4. So you see all the four numbers are divisible by each other. 3 1 times 3, 3 5 times 3 1 times 3, 3 5 times 15, and 2 2 times 4, and 2 7 times, and 2 7 times 14. So it will become 7 multiplied by 1 7, and 5 multiplied by 2 10. This is your answer. Now my dear students, this was the exercise, all the exercise. But even then, if you feel that you have any difficulty, you can ask me in the comment section below. So we are doing our next exercise uh, with the decimal fractions. The decimal fractions are the same, so need not to worry about the decimal fractions. We have to do all the operands uh, right from the beginning, all the plus, all the minus, all the division, all the multiplication, and with the decimal fractions. Now decimal fractions, sometimes we have to change them into whole numbers, and sometimes we can do it direct, because you see that when the decimal is at the same place. Now for example, you see that decimal is at the first place only. Now for the decimal, you know that how to read your digits. Now you know that this is unit, this is 10, this is 100, this is 1000, this is 10,000. You know that very well, and what comes after, you know that. Now this is, you see that this is unit, this is 10, this is 100, this is 1000, and this is 10,000. Now you will simply say that this is 10,000. Now for this, the point is your unit. The point is your unit, and the upcoming digit is your tenth. 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 Now this is the 10th digit. 10th digit. And the upcoming will be the 100th. 100th. And similarly, so and so forth. So I was going to tell you, then if you have like this, and it is being divided by the same number of digits with the decimal, I mean that the same position of the decimal, you have the same position of decimal. Now you see that there is one decimal place only. Now here again is one decimal place. You can just do it like this. Now the your fraction will become like this. It is very easy. Only when you have decimal at same places. For example, again do it like this: 3, 4. Now the same, the decimal is at the same position. Decimal is at the same position. There is tenth digit, hundredth digit, tenth digit, hundredth digit. The decimal is at the two places. Decimal is at the two places. So we just skip the decimals. It is very easy. So we'll be discussing it in the next exercise. Now, my dear students, let's start exercise 5.5. The both exercises were very small, so I have done them in one session. So the first is simplify each of the following fraction. Question number 1. Now we have to simplify the fractions. Now we are given this fraction, which is 0.3 divided by 12. 0.3 divided by 12. Now, first of all, what we have to do is we have to get rid of this decimal. We have to get rid of this decimal. Now, this decimal has to be removed, which is very easy. Now, this is 0.3. If you want to remove this decimal, place 1 under this decimal and zeros as many are the numbers up ahead of the decimal. As many number are ahead of the decimal. Now you see that by placing the, by placing 1 under the decimal, there is only one number after the decimal, so we have put only 10. We have only put 10, and I told you that it is the 10th. 10th. I told you in the preface that this number is the 10th and this is the decimal is placed at the unit. So even then it is the 10th. Now what is left is 12, which was originally there. It was originally there. Now the decimal has been removed. The decimal has been removed and we are left with this only. We are left with this only. Now it is your sweet will that you multiply the both or you don't. So I will not do. I'll just 3 1 times, 3 4 times, 3 1 times and 3 4 times. And what will be the answer now? 1 upon 40. So it will become 1 upon 40. 3 1 times, 3 4 times and 10 4 times 40. So it is 1 upon 40 is your answer. Now you see that how easy was to deal with the decimal. Now I'll be doing another question and the question is the same what I told you in the preface. zero point 0.4 divided by 0.5. 0.4 divided by 5, and if you see that the decimal it is at the same place. Now here the decimal is the at one place, here the decimal is at one place. You can just skip the decimals and the answer will be 4 upon 5. But if you want to go into detail, you will do it like this. You will remove this by placing 1 under the decimal and the 0 as many numbers are there ahead of point or decimal. And similarly for this denominator, now this denominator is zero point 0.5. Now for this you will do it in the numerator. So 1 over the 1 over the decimal and 0 again for the decimal places we have. So this 10 simply cuts this. So we are left only with 4 upon 5 because the decimal has been removed by doing this feature. So it is very simple to do it like this. Rather to go into detail, the answer will be same, 4 upon 5, 4 upon 5. So question number 4 says, now there is only one decimal, and that no, the question number 4 is 0.7 divided by 0.14. 0.14. Now again you see that the decimal above in the numerator is at one place and is in the denominator it is at two place. It is very easy. You just place 1 over the decimal. Now you have placed. Let me do it in little more detail. So what will happen over here? We are going to remove this decimal. So place 1, place 0. Now this decimal has been removed. You can do it like this. Now this decimal has been removed. Now what about this 14? Now 0.14. 0.14 will become place 1, place 2 zeros now. 2 places, 2 zeros. 2 places, 2 zeros, 1 point and 1 over here. Now you see this 10 goes with this 0, this 10 with this 0. So we are left with 70 because it is multiplied 7, 10 times 70 and 1 14 times. Now this is also removed, 14. Now it is again divisible 7 10 times and 7 2 times and 2 5 times. The answer is 5. Now my dear students, I am going to solve the last question, which is question number 8. Question number 8 is 2.8 divided by 0.7 multiplied by 1.44 divided by 0.6. Now there is, you see that now these two fractions, you can simply skip this decimal like this, okay. Now this decimal has been removed because the decimal are at the same places. Now for this, simply put 1 0 under this, and again you see now the decimals have become at the same places, two places. Now again remove this, you can easily remove these. Now you can solve this question very easily. 7 4 times 28 and 7 4 times and 4 15 times. 15 times. Now nothing is left behind because this 144 is not divisible by 15. So it will become 144 divided by 15. You can take it in like this, 144, 15. 15 9 times. If you can see easily that 15 10 times would have been 150. So it is not possible. So 5 9 5s are 9 5 times 45 and 135. It will become 135 and 14, 5 minus 14 minus 5, 14 minus 5 will be 9. So it will become 9 whole 15, 9. So this is divisible 3 times and 5 times. So you can write it like this as well. You can write it 9 whole 3 upon 5. 3 3 times, 3 5 times. So my dear students, now you see that we have completed our 2 exercises in one session. So we'll be meeting in our next exercise, which is percentages. So no, this is not percentages. Um, so we'll be meeting in our further calculation with fractions in our last lecture. So it's time to say you goodbye. Allah Hafiz.